I don't think being sensitive is a bad thing. I think that women have gotten a bad rap for that for years. Like, oh, you're so sensitive to that. I think it's a part of our superpower. It can definitely get to you. And I've been really blessed that I've been able to surround myself with the right people. I know how to block.
Welcome to Fierce Frequency, the podcast where your voice, your power, and your story take center stage. I'm your host, Angela Cherry. In each episode, we dive into bold conversations, fresh perspectives, and the energy that fuels change. Tune in, turn up, and let's get fierce together. Welcome back to Fierce Frequency, where we explore the stories, wisdom, and journeys of individuals who are making powerful impact in the world through purpose, resilience, and authenticity. Today's guest is Dr. Shellie Hipsky. Did I say that correctly?
You sure did. Absolutely.
She's a global empowerment leader, best-selling author, and award-winning humanitarian dedicated to uplifting women and children worldwide. As CEO of Inspiring Lives International and executive director of the Global Sisterhood, a 501c3, she leads international initiatives that provide education resources and support to those in need. Holding an EDD in educational leadership, Dr. Shellie has evolved from tenured professor and media host to global keynote speaker. Her dedication has earned her the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award from IATOPS, Top International CEO, and the International Visionary Leadership Award. She's graced over 100 magazine covers, including Forbes and Elle, and contributes to Forbes as part of their expert panel of coaches. Named among the top global empowerment coaches and top 10 unstoppable women entrepreneurs, her best-selling books, Ball Gowns to Yoga Pants and Mom Magic Mompreneur, inspire women entrepreneurs worldwide. Currently, she is producing a global sisterhood docuseries highlighting women's and children's real stories of resilience across continents. Whether on stage, on screen, or in service, Dr. Shellie Hipsky continues to inspire, empower, and elevate the human spirit through storytelling and action. Welcome to Fierce Frequency.
Thank you. I'm delighted to be here, Angela. Thank you for having me on the show.
Absolutely. We're honored to have you here. So, in some content that I was reading, you've been described as a movement unto yourself. What does that mean to you?
So that's so funny because I am my mother, who was an incredible mentor to me, Libby Jacobs. She actually passed away, and my father passed away, and both of them passed away in the past year. And she always said that my brother and I were very outward focused. We were focused on the needs of others before ourselves. So to think of myself as a movement unto myself, kind of, it's not necessarily who I am, but I can see how my movement has become a movement because of who I am at my core. So you see what I'm saying? Like, because I have been authentic with who I am and who I want to help and who I just am dedicated my life to, which is women and children around the world. And that sounds like such a big, lofty goal, but I am pleased that I've been able to help so much.
Well, I think that's incredible. I think that it definitely makes a big difference when you show up very authentic in the world, when you show up with true intentions and just trying to live your life being a good human. So
Absolutely.
Kudos to you for that, because I think that is where the most impact is made. At what point in your life did you realize you were, meant for something bigger? Because like you said, these are very lofty goals, and I think they're incredible.
So I was a tenured professor for future teachers, future leaders, undergrad to PhD students. And there came a point in my journey, because I was doing the magazines and I was speaking on stages around the world, and I was running a business and coaching these incredible women leaders. And there was just this moment where I realized that I had to step forward into being an entrepreneur and really spreading my message and being comfortable with being completely visible, completely apparent, so that I could make a huge, tremendous impact. And so I think it was, I remember the moment, like when I made that switch, and I was at a women's retreat. I was helping lead a women's retreat in California. And we were going around the circle and being very open about what we wanted out of our lives. And, everybody's talking about what they want. And I just said, if I could, I would make the world my classroom instead of just the four walls. And if I had the guts, the cojones, I would just say, I'm gonna move on from this. And the women that were surrounding me, they said, let's have a glass of champagne and let's celebrate that Dr. Shelley's gonna retire from the university. And I was like, oh shit, we're doing this. So we raised a glass, and I was like, oh my God, this is really happening. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna face my uncomfortability with giving up that safety net that tenure provided for me and my family. I have two children, and I was gonna move forward to that. And I think that was the switching point. But there's also so many stories of times when I knew that there were people that needed help, that I knew that I could be the one to do that if I was positioned correctly. And I think that I have encouraged so many women to become visible, to have their own platforms so that they can do the same, so that they can rise above, and they can rise above with each other, and then go on to create community and raise the frequency, as the Fierce Frequency would attest to. It's so important.
Absolutely. I mean, just people realizing that, look, if I can do this, you can do this too.
Absolutely.
Like, you are capable of achieving absolutely anything that you dream of and set your mind to. Our limitations, I feel like a lot of times, we limit ourselves. It's within ourselves. We're limiting. So to go out there and just really just believe and just do good in the world,
Yeah.
that's so powerful. So
Definitely.
talk to me about Inspiring Lives International and the Global Sisterhood. Tell me about those initiatives and what you're doing and what that looks like.
So thank you. I actually own three companies and run them. One is one that I don't really delve into that much on these. That's Seven Investments. That's my real estate firm for investing. And then I have two that are like my babies, my love. The Inspiring Lives International has been an incredible platform for women to use for media. It's where I've done all of my coaching. I've done the 15 books. I've done all the stage work. And right now we are wrapping up on our first short film that is going to be at the International Film Festival in LA as the premiere. And just TVs, movies, podcasts, all those things are under that header. Then we have the Global Sisterhood, and that has been my heart for years. We've been around for 10 years, officially as a 501c3 nonprofit, and we help women all over internationally. And Angela, people say to me all the time, like, what exactly does the Global Sisterhood do? And I have to say, we do whatever it takes, because every woman is an individual. Every woman has different needs, and we figure out what does it take to help you out, and we make that happen.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
Thank you.
And so tell me about the short films that you're getting ready to do. Or is it already in the process right now?
Oh, it's so in the process. We are next week. My people are back in. My team is back in Tanzania, Africa, which is where we have the School for Entrepreneurship that I helped found. And they're putting together the computer lab there. When the last time I was in Tanzania, we went there and they had just gotten the water. We helped them get water put into this village that they had no water. But then I walked into this school that I helped found, and there was this empty room with a little drawing of a computer on it, on taped up onto the wall. And they're like, this is our computer lab. I was like, oh no, we need real computers. So I like decided that we would make that happen. And like in 3 days, they're going to be there. My team, the director of the show, and my Reverend Nettie Dorinda, who is a godsend. She's an 80-year-old woman who is just a total badass. And she has gone back and forth to Africa 5 times. And she's going and she's getting the whole computer lab set up there. They've got 12 computers and modems and everything that they need so that these students can not just read about it in a book. They didn't even have books prior, but not even just read about it in a book, but now they're able to use the technology that other schools and colleges use around the world. But it's in such an impoverished area, Angela. So to be able to give them these tools for their success is just brilliant. I'm so excited that that's happening tomorrow. So, but we've been filming all over, everywhere from Pakistan to right in Florida. We were just in Florida helping a woman who had been living in a tented encampment for 4.5 years. So she had nothing and she was very desolate, very alone. And we came in as the Global Sisterhood to rally around her and some of the other people that were living in the tented encampment. And we've actually been able to get her a home. So it's been an amazing process. So it's not just about the film. It's the film is really just a documentation of the hope that can come from looking at what people need and helping to fill that void and helping to come alongside each other and work together.
That's beautiful. Well, I can tell you right now, I want to get involved in health. So I'm going to connect with you again after this. Because that's incredible. Like, these types of things literally make my heart just want to explode. You know, have you ever seen the emojis where the heart's exploding out?
Yes.
So
awesome.
Anytime I can help with something like that. So beautiful. So tell me this, like, who were you before the titles and the recognition and the magazines? You know, we talk about overcoming and having resilience to get to, you know, where we are today. Talk to me about some of that you were and what you went through before all of the titles and everything.
Yeah. So I was a special education teacher. I mean, I don't know how deep you want to get, but I was in a really not so great relationship many years ago, back when I was a special ed teacher. And I kind of had to fight my way out of that relationship. There was a lot of dark days, a lot of trying to get my head together to be able to even see myself as what I could become. Because when you're with somebody that is a narcissist or a con artist or, you know, these type of things, or abusive, emotionally abusive or any of those things, it can really erode at your self-confidence and bring out all those fears and concerns and uncertainty about who you could become. So there was definitely a tipping point there for me. And at that time, I was living in Apopka, Florida, and I was a teacher for kids that were in very impoverished situations. Like I had to get a grant so that we could get a laundry, you know, a washer and dryer at the school so that I could do the kids' clothes because they had no electricity in their homes and they some of them didn't have running water in their homes and there was just this huge discrepancy between what I thought could become for these kids and what they were actually experiencing in their home lives. And then I was going home to not a good situation with the person I was in a relationship with. So there was definitely a moment where I had to make that realization that my confidence was shot, that I was feeling alone. I was feeling, because the alone stuff, especially if you're with a narcissist, they can tend to isolate you and make you feel like you can't talk to those people that used to be your support system. And for me, that would have been my parents at the time. So I was very, very much isolated. But there was this moment where I was like, okay, I got to figure this out. I know that I'm meant for something bigger. I know that there's got to be something, like there's something I can do, and I know that I'm a good teacher. What can I do? And I picked up the phone and I called the dean of the School of Education at the school where I went for my undergrad, and I said, I'm in this awful relationship. I know that I need to get my master's degree. I want to get my doctorate. I want to do this. I know that I can do it, but I have to change my life. Something has to give. I have to step forward into this next part of my life. And Dr. Henderson, God rest his soul, he's up in heaven now watching this very podcast, I'm sure. He's watching over us. He said to me, Shellie, I remember how determined you were. And I remember that, you were president of all these organizations, and you had like this go-getter attitude. So go get a U-Haul, put everything in the truck, find out a housing situation, and we'll figure it out when you get here. So I rolled, in the U-Haul. I got all the way back to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where I got my undergrad, and he moved heaven and earth to get me a position there at the university that was half research associate and half adjunct professor. So then I could have full time. So they paid for my schooling, and they gave me a stipend so I could live on the stipend. So that was amazing. So sometimes you do have to step forward. Even if you're feeling uncertain, you need to reach out to somebody that you trust and just believe that there's something better on the other side of that barrier and that obstacle.
Absolutely. It's again crossing that the fear, getting past the fear, because as somebody who's been in a similar situation before, it takes a lot of strength and courage to push forward and to leave the situation, especially when you've been broken down so much and you don't have the strength that you would have had prior. You've got to find it within you and then rebuild yourself and get to know you again.
Absolutely. And it's so cool because time I've had to rebuild, it gets better. And I've seen this time and time again, whether making the pivot or the switch or the change of relationship, you can level up, and as you go up these rungs of life, as long as you are true to yourself and you're following the right path, it's going to happen. So if anybody's out there watching this, make sure that you can do this. You can step forward.
Absolutely. Dr. Shellie, tell me, what is the best piece of advice that you've ever received?
I found it yesterday, actually. I was looking for something, and I found on a handwritten note on yellow steno paper, it said these words, and it sounds a little harsh, but I had asked my mom, and she was towards the end of her life, and I had asked her, I just need some words of wisdom of how to get through this. And she said, deal with it. She wrote, deal with it. You're strong enough. Love Moo. And that's what I used to call her, is Moo. And so some people would read deal with it and they'd be like, whoa, that's a little harsh. But you know what? Sometimes we do just kind of have to deal with it, don't we? I think that sometimes there's something that has to be done. You got to deal with it. Yeah. So I thought that was really apropos wisdom.
Yeah, absolutely. So to go in a different direction with that, what's the worst piece of advice you've ever been given?
Oh,
This is a tricky one.
Oh, that's so funny because it would probably be deal with it. Because there's people that are like, you just got to deal with it. But my mom didn't mean it like that. She meant deal with it. You got this, kiddo. But some people are like, just deal with it. Just stay in the situation that you're in. So yeah, I think that deal with it would be for both answers.
So talk to me about this. What does feminine leadership mean to you?
Ooh. Oh, I love that question. That's a good one. I think feminine leadership to me, because, I got my doctorate in educational leadership. I taught future leaders at the corporate and the school district level of leadership. And, we read all the leadership books that there are and read all the research. To me, tapping into one's feminine leadership is a profoundly beautiful act of nurturing and kindness. I think that when you're working with a woman leader, you're going to get a very different, very often outcome, but a different process too, because it is more in that beautiful, divine, feminine, nurturing. Now, while I'm answering this question, I think you're helping me with something, actually, Angelo, by asking that question, because I am currently trying to work through a system and methodology that is very masculine focused, and I am not really loving it. And I know why. And it's because authentically I am a feminine leader. So thank you. I think you really just helped me with something.
You're very welcome. I love it when I can do that.
Good job.
Thank you. I say, for me, when you talk about leadership and you talk about the way you do, I can empathize with that. I know my approach is an empathetic and servant leadership style. Really, it's not about it's about them. It's about the team. It's about our clients having what they need.
Yeah.
How can I help you? And realizing that your team, they're not just a name on a spreadsheet or a number. They're people, they're humans. The empathy goes a long way. And when you show up for people, I found that they show up even more.
Yes. Yeah. I lead with love. That's how I am.
Yes.
And the servant leadership thing has always been something that I've subscribed to. And I gravitate towards other leaders that have that style of leadership, because it's not about just them. And it's not totally money focused or totally but it's a whole heart focused, as opposed
Yeah,
to just like one thing that drives them.
absolutely. What were the core messages behind the books that you've written? And I think you said you have like 15. Did you
Yes,
say that?
I do have
That's
15 books.
incredible.
Thank you. Well, I'll
You're
tell
an amazing lady.
Thank you. You're so sweet. I mean, I love writing. It kind of just comes out of me, and I have to write when there's something on my heart that the world needs to know. Like, I got to get writing. Like, and I will make that happen. It started with the more academic books, because I was a professor, and at the university level, when you're trying to get tenure, it's publish or perish. Like, I couldn't have, kept my job if I wasn't published. So the beginning books were more along the lines of research based and very critical thinking and academic. I wrote a textbook for Pearson that took 3 years and had 21 reviewers on every chapter so that I could get it perfect. That was a lot. I birthed 2 babies during writing that book. It was like crazy. So the beginning was in that vein. And then I had sort of an epiphany, a major moment, wherein I transform that into more of the motivational and inspiring work. And and there's definitely a story there, but I don't know if we want to jump into that, because I was definitely called to every step along the way. I felt called to, and it was because of my passion and my understanding of how the world was at that time. So if you read Ball Gowns to Yoga Pants, you can see the progression of who I was and who I wanted the people that I was coaching and working with to become, so that they could better service their businesses, because it's how to build a business that's successful and a brand that's successful. If you look at Ordinary People, Extraordinary Planet, that's farther back. That was my first inspiring book. And that was really about the incredible people, their stories, and then who they went on to help because of their stories. So in that book, there's people like Alicia Kozakevich, who and other people that had gone through kind of hard, difficult times and then went on to help other people. Then from there, I got my television show. This was 13 years ago, Angela. So my television show was filmed in the NBC studios here in Pittsburgh. And that was Inspiring Lives with Dr. Shellie. And that was all these very inspiring people, their stories, and then who they went on to help. So that was definitely a huge part of my work, was finding and gathering, and like at a certain point they were sort of magnetized into my sphere of influence. These people that had gone through crazy things, like I mentioned Alicia Kozakevich. She's not in the book. She was on the television show. She was the first one, and she was the first cyber predator kidnapping survivor. And so she not only walked me through what that was like, and I mean, horrific experience for her, but she took it and used it for good, and then went on to help hundreds of missing children around the country, created laws based on her work, worked side by side with the FBI. So these people are iconic in their ability to turn their pain into purpose. And but now I'm looking at this whole step forward method that I've developed through my coaching, and that has just it is exploding in a very quick way, so much so that I'm a little astounded how fast it's growing. But it's exciting. It's exciting to be able to show women around the world what techniques they can use to really take that leap of faith and leap towards their greatest future.
Wow. So do you ever experience burnout? You are doing so much. You have so much going on. Do you ever experience burnout? And if you do, how do you handle that? How do you walk through that?
Oh, it's such a great question. And yes, I have in my lifetime. I've definitely worked with people because I was an assistant principal. Like when you say burnout, immediately I think of the school that I used to be the assistant principal at, because those kiddos, there were 200 kids that had gotten basically kicked out of 40 school districts, not 40 school, but these were the kids that had the roughest of the rough home lives, emotional needs. Homicidal, suicidal, schizophrenic, these were the tough ones. And so imagine the burnout rate of the 75 staff that answered to me, and that I had to help, get in those classrooms and work with these sometimes violent, sometimes just kind of not. And the kids struggled with survival. So it was beyond just teaching their ABCs. So when I think of burnout, I think of those teachers that I had to work with them on their burnout, because it's a 3 to 5 year burnout rate with that type of profession. And when I was that teacher, and then when I was teaching that type of population, and then when I was doing it at the administration level, I definitely I felt it because we're both empaths, right? Angela, I feel like you're totally an empath. Yes. Yeah. Am I feeling that? We're like emotional sponges, and like you have to like wring yourself out at the end of the day, and like it all comes out.
I definitely require my downtime alone to like recharge because of all of that.
See, that's interesting. So you are an introvert. I actually am an empath, but I am also an extrovert. So that is one of the reasons that putting me in front of 1,000 people in an audience, and I tell my stories, and I'm really comfortable. But that's what charges me up is being with a lot of people. So it's amazing, but it's a little crazy pants. I wouldn't recommend it for everybody.
Right. So I can be very extroverted. I can speak in front of people. I can have conversations with anybody. But for me, I also have that introverted side that's how I recharge. So it's interesting that you're recharging when you're in front of people speaking. I love that.
I mean, and there's also the whole ambivert, which is probably what you are, where you can do both. You can get your recharge, but then you can go out and shine on a stage. So that's you got the best of both worlds, girl.
So, is there a truth about success or that people don't talk about?
Ooh. Is there a truth about success?
With success, is there something that happens that you feel happens when you become successful that maybe people don't talk about out loud?
I think the judgment, and particularly in this day and age when we can literally read people's thoughts about us. And, they say, it's none of your business what other people think of you. And I get that, but it hurts when you read, things that people are saying, and people do hide behind computer screens now and just show their true colors, in black and white on a screen. So I think that, particularly for women that are empaths or just sensitive, I don't think being sensitive is a bad thing. I think that, women have gotten a bad rap for that for years. Like, oh, you're so sensitive to that. I think it's a part of our superpower. But yeah, I think that it can get to you. It can definitely get to you. And I've been really blessed that I've been able to surround myself with the right people. I know how to block. I'm okay with blocking people if they're being like that, because we don't need that external judgment in a negative way, particularly from people that have never been in the positions that we're in. And especially if you're someone like us that like, hey, if you want to get to where we're at, come on, let's do this. Let's do it together.
Roadmap. I'll give you some names and numbers to call.
All right, because look on it.
we all truly believe we all have room to shine in the world in the way that we want to or are meant to. And there's no reason to be in weird competition with somebody else. Like I don't compete with anybody. The only person I compete with is truly myself, right? And being a better person. Am I showing up in the world a good person? Am I doing the right thing? Beyond that, like you, it is hard when you've got people putting such harsh judgment on you for putting yourself out there and doing the things that you're doing. And for me, I had to get past, I had to just really get very comfortable with who I am and living authentically and know that, you know what, as long as I'm showing up as a good person in the world, it does not matter what they say.
Absolutely.
Which is hard for me as a pathological people pleaser for most of my life.
Oh yeah.
It's very hard.
Yeah, I think we're very similar with those things, Angela.
It's been a process for sure. I mean, there's even times now that I go to post something about maybe an article or something that I'm featured in, and I'm like, okay, you can do this. You can do this. Because the other side of the, it's hard putting yourself out there. And I think that's what people that are sitting behind the keyboard judging, and instead of showing up and doing something in the world to make a difference, they don't they don't realize that it is hard to be vulnerable like that.
Yes.
But we need people like you that will go out and do that, because that's what inspires people. That's what helps move things forward for those that may be stuck. I mean, look at all the incredible work that you're doing.
Thank you.
It's just amazing, and I can't wait to, see and hear more about that. But like, beyond your businesses and everything, are there like certain hobbies or things that you enjoy doing?
I love the stage. So I've always done acting, singing, dancing. Love. And for the last 20 years, most of that has been to raise money for different organizations, sometimes through the Global Sisterhood, and then sometimes through through our charity partnerships. But I used to have, many years ago, I had the Shellie Show Cabaret, and that raised a lot of money. So I'm a Broadway belter. I love to vocalize, and I love to salsa dancing. I love salsa dancing. I love shopping with my daughter. I love working out. What was that?
I love creativity. Like, I love the creative outlets.
Yes, absolutely. There's so many things I love doing. Working out is huge for me. That's my sanity saver. When my kids were little, they were like, "Mom, go to the gym," because they knew like I needed to go to Pilates, or I needed to go to the gym so that they could get their mom back like normal mom. I've never been called normal mom. that is not what I've ever been called.
Relate with that too. Like, girl. Yeah, mom's not normal, but we love her.
Yeah, exactly. It's all good.
There's worse things, worse outlets that you could use than working out, right? Like,
totally.
That's awesome. Most people have to like talk themselves into going and working out. So.
Oh no, I you can't pull me out of there. I love it. And I collect memberships. So I probably shouldn't say that on something, because they'll be blowing my phone up. But like, I've got all I don't want to say the brand names, but all the memberships to all the Pilates studios and the hot saunas that you do the workouts in, and the yoga places, and like I love them. I'm a junkie.
Well, I thank you so much for your time today. I feel like we could probably go on for hours.
Oh my God, we could.
Different things.
We'll do more things together, though.
Yes, we will. We will, absolutely. But before we go, let everybody know how they can reach you if they want to get involved, or just reach out for coaching, whatever that looks like.
Excellent. So I would say, there's the ShellieHipsky.com is probably the easiest way to get a hold of me right now, as far as to figure out what I'm doing, where I'm at. But then Instagram, you and I are both on Instagram, and so it's Dr. Shellie, Dr. Shellie, SHELLIE, and DM me, and we'll chat, and I'll help you step forward in your life.
Amazing. Yeah, I'll put the links and everything in the caption when we publish. Before we go, I just want to say to the listeners, don't forget, you don't need permission to evolve, just a fierce decision to begin. And thank you until next time. Thank you for listening to Fierce Frequency with me, Angela Cherry. If today's episode inspired you, don't forget to follow the show and share it with someone who needs that spark. Until next time, stay bold, stay powerful, and stay fierce. And remember, you don't need permission to evolve, just a fierce decision to begin.